some questions. Here is the first one. Does it ever make sense to put test/QA at an outsourced partner? So, well, if you're new to outsourcing and have not done it before, the definitive answer is no. You definitely don't want to put 100% outsourcing. Even if you have done outsourcing before, based on our experience, I would always suggest to go with a mixed approach. You can start with 60% of outsourcing your testing and gradually move up to 80 or 90%. The rest of the 20 or 10% residual should always remain with you, and that is nothing but the management oversight and focus. The vendor you have chosen will never be able to successfully align to your business goals if you don't partner up with them and share your vision. The chances of success are high only when you join hands, and this effort is definitely needed while you outsource. However, in the enterprise world, there are models like BOT, Build, Operate and Transfer, where you can completely outsource the testing to your vendor and later absorb it. Or you can rely upon your vendor to build a complete test center of excellence for you. So, there is no bulleted statement or approach to this. It purely depends on what the requirements or the focus of outsourcing is. So based on that, you can choose any of these. Let's pick one more. Please reiterate what has driven the project costs up. Is it increase in demand or labor cost, or is it some more? A good question and an important aspect to understand while outsourcing. So let me explain this again. The factors which affect the inflation in project costs are significantly due to raises in wages at offshore, increase in cost for infrastructure maintenance, the foreign exchange rates, the need for maintenance of multiple sites for compatibility, performance testing, or security testing. Not only those, actually, technology adoption as well has increased these project costs. Now, what do we mean by technology adoption? In the beginning days of testing, everything was done manual and the test cases were maintained in Excel sheets. But if you see testing today, you have invested in tools for defect management, test case management, unit testing, code coverage, and the list goes on. So, investment into these tools has also increased the project cost. So necessarily not just the offshore increases is only the key. So again, adoption of open source will be a key to drive these factors and also manage or reduce these costs for tools. Let me pick one last question before we conclude. What techniques have been successfully applied to use a 20% contingency to save yourself from failure? How you bail yourself out late in a project with a 20% contingency? Well, actually this is a twofold question. So let me address the first part to start with. The techniques successfully applied to use a 20% contingency. So let me list some of the techniques. When you outsource for the first time, define your engagement into multiple phases like mobilization, stabilization, and steady state. Define goals for each phase so you understand how well the engagement is turning out. This helps you to react faster and change your vendor if needed before it's too late in terms of time and as well as investment. Define measurable and quantitative goals which can be tracked periodically. Define periodicity of quarter, month, or week based on the size and duration of the engagement. It is very important to know if you have met your goals in that time period. If not, how best you can come back on track, or how to revisit and set the goals for the next time period. Provide management oversight to the product, at least when you are doing outsourcing initially. So provide heavy management oversight until the entire engagement comes to cruise control. Now, the second portion of your question, how to bail yourself out how to bail yourself out with utilizing 20% contingency. See, when you put all these goals and quantitative measures, you definitely know whether you are on track or you have lost the track. So, as needed, utilize these 20% contingency to mitigate and get back on track. Now, what do we mean by whether we have been on track or not, or what are the different things which can make us out of the track? Few possible things to consider. There might be a poor bandwidth between your vendor and your test site, which is actually affecting the productivity of testing. Or there might be a lack of domain knowledge or training. Or there is a need for investment in tools. Or there is a need to bring in some expertise which your vendor doesn't have. So for these limitations or for these shortfalls, you can use this 20% contingency to ensure that there is no failure and there is no business impact. So to mitigate these factors, you can use this budget. I hope that answers the question. So once again, I thank each and every one of you for attending this webinar. I hope this session has provided some insight on how to choose your outsourcing vendor and how to succeed. If you need a copy of this presentation or this session, please visit our website www.applabs.com, applabs.com. If you still have any further questions on this topic, and for the unanswered questions, I request you to write to marketing@applabs.com. We will definitely answer your questions in detail. Thank you one and all, and have a wonderful day. Bye.